live streamed. So we are live. Let me check. Hey, everybody on Zoom. We are just getting things set up on YouTube and Facebook here. And looks like we're online. Yep, we're live on Facebook, live on YouTube. So I'd love to hear where you guys are located out there on Zoom and Facebook and YouTube, and what language you're learning. I'm in Cleveland, Ohio, and for this challenge, I'm learning Spanish. And it's going pretty well. I already hit my coins target before the end of the first month, so I got 2 more months here. So that's pretty good. Let's see.
Did you know any Spanish at the beginning?
Yeah, I lived in Colombia for 6 months
right,
a couple of years ago. But then a few years of really not speaking much of any Spanish. It kind of disappeared. So, but my brother just proposed to his girlfriend, who's Mexican. So I think
what's the wedding? Mexico, then you got to learn. You got to do those challenges.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So we got Carol from Florida. She says bonjour. Janet from Kansas learning Italian. JJ from Los Angeles learning Spanish. Hello, guys. Catherine from Nova Scotia learning Russian. Sidel from Vermont. I can't quite read. It's in a Cyrillic language. I'm not sure which one it is, but hello. Rob from Virginia learning Russian. Teresa from Vancouver, Swedish. Santiago from Colombia learning Japanese and French. Awesome. John learning Greek, new to Link. That's awesome. Welcome. And Shinwei learning Italian. Welcome, guys. Welcome, everybody.
That's a big variety of languages.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Great to have that.
I think we have, what, 45 languages?
38.
38, yep.
We have 38 that are at least in beta. That means that we have a library page and you can learn with it on Link. We have some more that are sort of in incubation. So we're still building the mini stories. We're still building that minimal amount of content necessary to be able to offer it. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's see if anybody on Facebook, YouTube. Let's see if anybody on Facebook. There we go. Okay, on YouTube, we got Andres from Mexico learning French. Welcome, Andres. And well, it's the top of the hour, so welcome everybody. This is week 5 of the 90-day challenge live stream series that we started in the beginning of September. And we're doing a weekly live stream to help learn about how to use Link, different ways to find content. Last week we heard from a very successful user who actually won 3 different challenges in June. So it was awesome to hear from Toby last week. And if you guys weren't able to make that, all the videos are live streamed on YouTube and Facebook, so you can go back and watch that. Every single week there's something different to pick up on and improve how you're using Link and how you're learning languages. And we also post those in the Link forum. And last week's had a very lively discussion afterward. People asking follow-up questions with Toby, which was pretty awesome to see. And this week we got North here, and he's going to be presenting on how to use YouTube with Link. Hello, North.
Hi, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, guys, welcome. Good to have you on here, North. So for those who don't know North and I started working with Link about the same time. North is the head of content. So his job is to work on making content easier to find for Link users, and just always improving the quality of the content and your ability as users to find that content, and improving the organization in the library, and working really hard on our version 5, which the whole team is working really hard on, and I'm really excited about that. That's going to be pretty awesome, changing up the way the library is laid out. It's going to look, it's
We might have time.
cool.
We might be able to show them a sneak peek for those that haven't joined the beta yet. Maybe at the end of the live stream.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that would be cool.
It's coming together. Every day,
Yeah.
every week is getting significantly better.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm super excited about that. That's gonna be really great. All right, guys. So I know a lot of the people, a lot of you guys that are on this webinar or on this live stream, you may not have joined a challenge yet, or maybe you are in a challenge. So I'm just gonna share my screen really quick and go over how to join a challenge. It's pretty simple. And then how to see your stats in the challenge. So I'm going to share my screen. North, do you see my screen?
I do indeed.
Okay. All right, guys. So I'm over here. I'm in the first screen when you log in, the library on the web app. And I can either go over here and click on active challenges. Now, if you haven't joined a challenge, you might see a button here that says join a challenge. Otherwise, you could also go to community, hit the community tab, and then go over into challenges. And right here, we can see the challenges that I've joined. And I'm not actually doing all these languages, but we're testing a lot of things. I'm really only studying Spanish right now, but we're testing a lot of things. So I'm joining a bunch just to test things out. But as you can see, these are the challenges that I've joined, and the October challenge opened up. So you can join the October challenge. If you haven't joined the September challenge, it's probably best to just join the October challenge right now, and then finish the year, the next 90 days, end 2021 with some good language learning, make a breakthrough in your learning.
So the October, Tommy, the October language 90-day challenge is for 3 months starting October 1st.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you join the September challenge, you're way behind.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I said, I've already hit my coins target for the challenge, and depending on where you're at, like I started depending on where you're at as a Link user and in your language, it may be easier or harder to hit the coins target. So for me, it was pretty easy to hit the coins target because I just started using Link when basically at the beginning of the challenge, just a couple weeks before the challenge. So and I have already a pretty decent background of Spanish. So when I started the challenge, I was able to rack up a lot of known words because I had a background already. So it was really easy for me as I started going through content, just known words, known words, known words, known words. So just to reiterate, the way that you hit the target in the challenge is through creating links, creating known words, listening to lessons, reading lessons. That is for the 90-day challenge. Now there's also the 90-day hardcore challenge, which, as the name suggests, is a bit harder. It is pretty intensive. So instead of just having one coins target to hit that can be done through a variety of different ways. With the hardcore challenge, you have 5 different targets that you have to hit over the 90 days. So you have to hit the known words target. You have to hit the links target. You have to hit the links learned target, which means moving a link from a link, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then moving it all the way over into known. So that's one target. And then you got to do hours of listening and words of reading. So as you can see, for my own challenge, I've already hit the known words target for the hardcore challenge. And I'm more than a third of the way for creating links, which is good. Now I know I'm on pace to hit that target, but I am not on pace to hit the links learned target. And I can probably do that just with doing a review session, doing more review sessions to increase that. That's probably the best way to do that. And then doing more listening, and I've already hit the reading target. So right now it's the end of the month. It's probably a good time to look at where you stand in the challenge and analyze, okay, we're a third of the way through the challenge. Am I a third of the way toward my target? So
you have a lot of listening to do, Tommy.
I do have a lot of listening. Yeah.
If I try to speak in Spanish, will that count? No, I guess not.
Yeah. The thing is, so I do listening outside of Link. In addition to the, I listen to my playlist, but I'm watching a Netflix series in Spanish. And unfortunately, I can add listening here. So last night I watched 2 episodes, which are 50 minutes each. So I can do 1 hour and what is that? 50, 100. So 1 hour and 40 minutes. I can submit that and then boom, it adds to my listening. So I'm closer than I thought. And I honestly, I'm not super diligent with adding this because I also listen to music in Spanish, and I watch some YouTube videos before I import them into Link. So I should be a little bit more diligent with doing this. But at the end of the day, these challenges are proxies for your learning. So as long as I know that I'm doing my activity that is benefiting my learning and improving in the language, I'm not overly concerned with hitting these targets. So the targets are just there as a guide. And I know that every day I'm doing things that are improving in the language. So I feel good where I'm at. But yes, I should be doing more listening in general. But yeah, guys, you can manually add these for listening and reading if you do it outside of the Link app. One more thing, you can share with these friends. Doing these challenges with your in real life friends is always funner. So right here, it's day 28 in my challenge. So I can share this to Facebook. Hey guys.
Okay, I think one person watching asked about the exact use of coins.
Okay. Yeah, I will link to a blog post shortly that goes over the exact amount of points that are earned for creating a link. I believe for creating a link you get 6 points. I'm not actually sure. I'm gonna hold off on that on the exact number, and I will link to that shortly. I'll put it on Zoom. I'll put it on Facebook and YouTube once you get started with your presentation, North. So yeah, guys, you can share these with your friends. That's always a good idea. Get more people in on the challenge. Makes it more motivating. You got that social pressure, which helps a lot of people. And if it doesn't, then don't do it. But I know a lot of people enjoy that. So
I just brag in person.
There you go.
It's harder to ignore me than if I send it over Facebook.
Yes, true.
But I understand it is very motivating, especially if you can see what your friends are doing too.
Yep.
Especially
And
if they're on the
it's
same challenge.
right. And it's like on Twitter, Facebook, it's you get this like digital footprint of the progress that you're making. So I mean, for me, that's one of the awesome things that I like about Link is, I can go over into my profile and I can get a very clear visual representation of the
Yeah.
number of known words that I've gotten over time. And I can see, okay, on those days I didn't do any activity. And then over the next few days, I did a lot of activity. So it's a good way to really get a visual representation of how you're doing, especially as you kind of, once you get past like the super beginner and you can get into basic conversations, it can kind of feel like you're not making any progress. So having a graph that shows you indeed you are learning new words, that could be really helpful to stay motivated, because once you hit that maybe upper beginner level, it can feel like you're plateauing. So having that visual representation, I feel, is very motivating. So
I
all
think
right.
a couple of our users watching are anxious for us to get to the importing of YouTube videos. Sarah, John, we're going to start right now, okay?
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
it's depending on where you are, it's been the end of a long day. So without further ado, I basically am going to go very briefly through how I import from YouTube. There are obviously so many sites you can use combined with YouTube to help make it easier to find content. But in the end, it's very simple. So importing content from YouTube is a 3-step process that starts with getting the link importer extension. And that's what I'm going to explain right now. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go right to this. Tommy, everyone, you can see me, right? I'm on my email. So
Yep,
right
we
now
see
you
ya.
can see that I have in the top right, the little link logo, kind of black and white. This is the link extension. If you say, how did you get that? It's very simple. You type into Google link extension. Really not that complicated. Now I'm using Chrome. Some people use Firefox. They can use Safari. They can use Edge. So if you want to have a different one, for example, here we even suggest the Safari one. Most people use Chrome, but you can also find versions of that same extension for these other browsers. Okay.
And I will link to those in all 3 channels here: Zoom, Facebook,
Absolutely.
YouTube.
So obviously I already have it on. It's asking me to remove it, but in fact, you could simply click a single button and it will simply download it and install it, and it will appear in the top right of your screen, just like that. Okay. This extension now is there for wherever I go, anytime I go on YouTube, and I can use it essentially in about 2 seconds. So you said you were learning Spanish. I'm going to go a little bit very close to Spanish. I did use Link for Catalan at one point. And I have here, the easiest way to find stuff on YouTube is simply by going through your subscriptions. I have a lot of subscriptions. As you can see right now, my screen looks like a soup of a lot of different languages. But I do know that when I want to watch something in Catalan, that there is this YouTube channel TV3 that I'm subscribed to, and you see right here. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on the video and open it up. I had watched about 9 minutes of it earlier today. And an important point for importing into Link from YouTube is that we have subtitles, we have captions. Not only do we have captions, but we have manually created captions. So you should all know that you obviously, when you're learning a language, you look for captions in the bottom right. You click here and you see which options they have. Here we only have Catalan, but some videos may have auto-generated captions that were created by the YouTuber when they posted their video online, basically, which means they didn't submit any transcript of what they were saying. They said, YouTube, do your best to transform the audio into captions. The issue with this is that you're not necessarily going to get very high quality captions. Anytime anyone speaks in any way when there's a bit of a sound in the background, you're going to get, it's going to guess basically what word is being said. And the sentences are going to be all kind of messed up and so on. So it's better if you can find videos with this, to find videos with captions, just like you see here. If it just has the name of the language, Catalan, there's nothing that says auto-generated, you know that these were manually created and they are high quality. So I have the video I want. It doesn't matter where in the video I am. I can be at the start, I can be at the end, it doesn't matter. I have my extension installed. I click. It says my username here, it's nsprung. I have the language. I could click another language if I wanted to. I could click Japanese, but it won't work because the extension is looking at YouTube to make sure that you have the appropriate captions that you try to import. So don't worry about importing the wrong language normally. I can only use this video with Catalan here. I can already click import and it's going to create a lesson just like that in LingQ. But normally, if you're importing a lot of lessons over time, you want to have a bit of organization. So for example, I can create a new course called TV3. That's the name of the news channel that we have here. And if I want to categorize it as well, I can say add video, since it's definitely a video that I'm importing. And I can also say YouTube. These last two steps, once again, are completely optional. Once I'm satisfied with this, I click import. Takes about 3 seconds. There you go. This is a 34-minute video that was imported in about 3 seconds flat. I click open lesson, and here I am in LingQ. And here I am with the lesson. I have it in sentence view right now. There you go.
And North,
Yes.
if you could just for a second, I know someone on Zoom who is not using LingQ would like a brief introduction, just in general, how LingQ works. So yeah, we have a lot of existing content in the different languages we offer. And in this live stream, we're going over how to import content from outside of LingQ, so specifically from YouTube into LingQ to create lessons. And whether you're creating an imported lesson or whether you're using a lesson that is native to LingQ, the basic process is when you open up a lesson, new words that you haven't seen before are going to show up in blue. And when you click on a blue word, you can select from different definitions from different dictionaries. And once you select a definition or you put in your own definition, that is creating a link. And then you go from 1, meaning you've never seen this word before, to 4, which means you're pretty familiar with the word, but you still want to review it. And then once you move it to known, that means you know this word. So when you open up a new lesson, the links that you've created, these new words, will show up in yellow. As you can see on North's screen, that word AIXO is up in yellow. That means he created that link in a previous lesson. So now when he opens this new lesson, he sees that he's seen this word before, but he doesn't know it yet. So as he becomes more and more familiar with the word, he'll increase its value up until 1, 2, 3, 4. And then once he knows it for real, then he'll mark it known. Now, if you do see a blue word that you already know, once you click on it, you can just make it known. So that's the general way to use LingQ. You want to create links, and then you want to create known words, and then you want to move links all the way into known words, and that's how you use LingQ. So it's a reading and listening app, mostly text-based primarily, but also most of the lessons have audio too that you can listen to, on your way to work, when you're doing the dishes, if you're just chilling at home whenever. So that's that. So North, sorry,
Yes.
carry away.
Oh yeah, and just to add, of course, you don't need to just make a link from one word. You can make it from a group of words, like here, good night.
Good point.
That's the kind of thing you want to know, right? If you're learning a language, you can add a bunch of words together just by clicking and dragging, or with your phone, clicking and or sticking your finger on the phone and dragging.
Yeah.
One question, by the way, from Janet: is there a limit to the number of links you can create? Not if you're a premium user. If you're a free user, I believe the limit is currently 20.
Yep.
So I'm going to move on. I know we may have some more questions. Do you have well, here's the next question from Mike. Do you have a technique to find videos with captions? Mike, that is exactly what I'm about to answer. So we understand how LingQ works, at least to some basic degree. I'm now going to repeat what I just did through a couple of different sites that I like to use to find good content. So I'm just going to move this down and go to this site right here. It is called zerotohero.ca. You can, of course, just Google Zero to Hero and you'll find it. This is a website. It looks like this on the front page. You scroll down a little bit and you see a list of languages it has. Basically, it is a compendium, a collection of videos with captions categorized in different languages. So, for example, if I live in Quebec and we speak French here, so I should suppose I should look up something that has been posted recently. There is an old French series called Camelot, kind of like King Arthur. And I had found this video here on Zero to Hero. I did this by looking into the different categories they have: movies, music, TV shows. I clicked on TV shows and I got a list. Here, see what it looks like. These are a list of TV shows that are available for free on YouTube. So it's not Netflix, it's nothing you need to pay for. This is just free TV you can find on YouTube. I clicked on Camelot. I clicked on one of these 2-minute skits. So this is basically a comedy show from back in the day. And it opens in Zero to Hero, but it's very simple. You can simply click watch on YouTube and it will load the YouTube page. So now through Zero to Hero, I've found a video that has subtitles, as you can see, in French, also in English, but we don't really care about that, right? So you don't even need to select, by the way, the subtitles. It's going to automatically import the appropriate ones. If you select French using the import extension, it's going to find the French subtitles. So this is a French video. I'm going to look down through French. Here we go. I can make a new course because there are a lot of these little Camelot clips. Once again, I'm repeating what I did before. I'm going to call it Camelot and click import. How long does it take? What was that, 1 second? This is a 3-minute and 40-second video. And then I click open lesson. And here we are. Once again, it's loading the audio. It has the video here on the right side. If you want to listen to that, it has all the text. And you learn just like with any other lesson. I've now brought what I do anyway. So when I wake up in the morning, for example, while I have my coffee, I always watch a few videos on YouTube in a few languages. And if you want to integrate that with LingQ, have the extension on your browser, click the button, import it, and 2 seconds later, you can be listening while drinking your morning coffee to Camelot while adding all those words and those sentences that you don't know very, very easily. And then you basically have LingQ become this center of all your language learning. And anytime you see those words and expressions that you marked as links last time, even from YouTube, now if you go into LingQ and let's say you search for a book or one of our professionally produced mini stories, you're going to find those same links in those lessons as well. So Zero to Hero, once again, I recommend it because it finds you videos, TV shows, songs with captions in the language of your choice. And I can actually recommend one more. So this isn't supposed to be comprehensive. Obviously, there are 100 websites like this. I'm recommending one more that I find is very useful. It's called Euglish, like English and YouTube combined. And it's basically a website that allows you to search up a particular word in a language of your choice. Here I have it set to Italian, that exists in the captions of a video. So for example, if you want to look up the word for New Year's in Italian, then you type Capodanno, the head of the year, you click search, making sure you set it to Italian, of course. You can see all the languages on my screen that it's available in. And you now have how to pronounce Capodanno in Italian, video number 1 out of 324 that it found for you. This particular video, we can open in YouTube, is who knows what the video is about. It's any video that happens to have the word New Year in it, basically. And we know, once again, that it has high quality captions here. Right now, Italian. So you know that if you import it using the extension, you're going to get all of the captions from this 47-minute conversation. It looks like some kind of interview right inside your link. Any questions so far, or am I explaining it too well?
You are explaining it very well. We do have some questions. So one question, can other people use a lesson I imported? That is
yes,
a good question.
It is. And the answer is we want you to. We want you to share essentially what you import with others, because LingQ is a collection of tons of resources. Now, the thing is that if you're importing, say, a book, a public domain book, obviously you can share that easily without copyright concerns. But if you share someone's YouTube video, we don't want you to just share that as a regular lesson inside LingQ, because technically this is someone's livelihood who creates these videos, and we don't want to just steal their content and put it on our website. But one of the big features that we have in version 5 is we're going to have enhanced sharing of what we call external lessons. So these lessons are things like Netflix episodes or YouTube episodes or videos. And also we already have it implemented in version 4 in our news feed. So when you see right now in version 4, those news articles you can import, that is a type of external lesson. And what we're going to allow you to do in version 5 is import just like I did, and then go into the lesson and just click a button and share it as an external lesson. And then others will be able to see that lesson and click on the link, and it will send them to the video that you found on YouTube, in this case, for them to import. And we're going to have a lot of playlists as well. For example, any of you who are part of the version 5 beta right now could go to, I don't know, for example, we have Eric, one of our team members, made a couple of playlists that he shared in the Japanese library for manga and anime, I think. And so there is an entire shelf of external lessons you can see right now. And if that's the kind of content you want to consume, we also have a bunch of shelves shared in our Persian library and so on. So we're going to be filling up our newer and bigger library with tons and tons of external lessons of the type of content that you want to learn with.
Awesome. Let's see, we got another question. Can we watch the video in LingQ with the transcript you pulled up, or is it text only? So
sorry, your question is, can we watch the video in LingQ?
Yeah.
Well, let's see, you can see my screen here.
Yep, we can see your screen.
There you go.
Yep.
That's the answer. Yes,
yep,
you can.
so you can watch it. And if you click on sentence view, North. So if you click on sentence view, the video will show up right above the sentence. So
yeah. It's going to look a little bit different in version 5, a little bit nicer, I hope to say. But it's going to have essentially the same functionality as it currently does in version 4. You can listen to the audio as well once the audio loads. And you can even, you'll be able to listen to the audio of each individual sentence, sentence by sentence. So Link will chop up all parts of the video into sentences so you can play not text to speech like a robot voice, but the actual audio for that particular sentence that you're reading as you go through the lesson.
Awesome. Thanks, North. Let's see. Is there a max size length for YouTube uploads?
There is, and if you go over the length, it will automatically make a multi-part lesson. So I imported a German TV show the other day. It's a soap opera, and it's like 82 minutes long, one episode, and it made 4 parts, each about 20-ish minutes long. Of course, it depends exactly how often they're talking in it, right? If there's a lot of music with no captions, that's not going to add much to the lesson.
Yep. All right, another question from YouTube. Can we import articles from a third-party app? I've tried it, but usually it just imports the title of the article. So I'm not sure what why exactly it just imported the title, but the import extension works on any website with text. So you can go to Wikipedia, you can go to a news outlet, and it's essentially the same process that you use on YouTube. You just click once you're on the web page, you open up the browser extension, and then you can import a lesson that way. So I'm not sure, Andres on YouTube, I'm not sure what exactly the problem is, but if you continue to have that problem, please reach out to support@link.com or reach out to me, Thomas@link.com, and we'll investigate further into what might be going on.
It can be tough, right? Depending on the exact way that the website is designed. For an extension to tell what is the text, what is the part that we actually need to import.
Yep.
But it's going to essentially get slowly better with time as we keep on updating it and improving it.
Yeah, and another thing, you can manually import a lesson. So
yes, of course, the extension makes it a bit easier, but you always have, if you could simply copy paste that text,
yep,
you can go through the library page, the main page of Link, and just click the import button. Yeah.
Cool.
I think also I saw a question from Ruth. Does it take you to the exact word?
On
yes.
Euglish, yeah.
Yeah, it does. So it dropped me off like 8 minutes into that video, because that's when the woman who was speaking said New Year's.
Okay.
Okay. So I wonder if we have some people here from our librarian program. I don't know if I've spoken about it yet, but it is a big part of what we're going to do with Link version 5. Essentially, we're going to have a class of users, people who are more familiar with Link, who've been using it for a certain amount of time and know, let's say, how it works and how to find good content. And we're going to give them special powers to help us manage all the different content that we have. Because, of course, we have, like we said before, 38 languages currently. We might have over 40 at some point by partway through next year. And it can be very tough to manage a Cantonese or a Hungarian library very effectively at the same time as we manage our English and Spanish ones. So we're going to be, over time, sending out some invitations for people to apply to be part of our librarian program, which is essentially that you are a member of our community that wants to share what you learn with everyone else. And this obviously applies to YouTube videos. It applies to any kind of lesson. And we already have, I believe, around 100 or 125. And I think we're going to be looking to add up to around 500 at some point. So if you aren't a member of it yet, and you want to be a member, you can join this very, very easily. You see here my screen still, you see lessons, tutors, and community. You click on
I just see Zoltan on Zoom said he can do it for Hungarian. That's awesome.
That's great, because I've been speaking a lot with another Hungarian librarian who's been going through our mini stories and really helping us iron out all the mistakes and little typos and so on. But of course, he is, I think, a little lonely right now. So Zoltan, we need you. So we're in community page. You see the forum in the top left. Over here on the right, I have contribute. I clicked contribute. I scroll down a little bit and I see this big blue button, become a librarian. And here, choose your language. It doesn't have to be the language that you're studying. It could be your native tongue. It could be a language that you're learning that you're very passionate about, and just write a message. And of course, when you do, I'm going to get that email and I will go and look at your profile and make sure that you have a little bit of experience with our system, because we want to make sure that those who are helping us also really know what they can do, what they can bring to the table, and what they can do to help grow our library.
Awesome. Yeah. And especially for those, for the less popular languages, because yeah, I mean, it's just a little bit more difficult to find content and to find people that that can manage that, just because there's less there's just a smaller pool out there.
I actually find Euglish is great for smaller languages. Of course, it doesn't exist for every language. For example, it does not you can't use Euglish with Hungarian, but you can use it, for example, with Serbian. And there are not that many videos on YouTube in Serbian with captions. But if you do use Euglish, then you can find what videos are there much, much quicker. So if you're in the middle of learning a smaller language, not English or Spanish, I do recommend Euglish a lot, as I found it helped me with Swedish very quickly find a number of videos on certain topics.
Yeah, and I guess another way to find YouTube videos for learning a language, you can just search whatever the language is, and then let's say learning Serbian YouTube channel, and maybe not everything that pops up will have captions, but you know, it's worth a try. So there's a lot of different ways to find really good content.
Yeah, there are. So I mean, we went through a couple, but there are dozens of websites. They pop up, they disappear. Keep Googling, and you can go on other forums. You can go on the LingQ forums. Other people may have shared some over time. They'll continue sharing new ones they find. And you can essentially find what people are using. Depending on the language, you might find that different websites work better.
All right, we got another question here. How do you delete a known word so you can learn more? So this isn't directly related to YouTube, but in using LingQ in general. So how do you delete a known word so you can learn more? So number one, I wouldn't recommend deleting a known word if your primary concern is you want to stay within the limit, then what you'd actually want to do is just delete links. So you can, once you open a link, you can click on ignore and that'll ignore it. But for known words, you can have unlimited known words. So on a free plan, you can have unlimited known words. That is not going to stop you
It must have
at any
meant
point.
LingQ specifically.
Yeah. So you can choose, if you create a link, you can either make it a known word or make it or just click ignore, and that will delete it. But again, if you're serious about using LingQ to improve a language, you want to have your stats be accurate, to accurately reflect what your level is in the language and whether or not you know the word. So I would not recommend that. But you have that option if you still want to use LingQ before deciding that you want to sign up for a paid plan.
I can give my own experience before I worked for Link, the language that made me sign up was Russian. I know someone here mentioned either they're learning Russian or they are Russian.
Yeah, Rob. Rob's a new librarian for Russian.
Oh, great. So I think right now I have 55,000 known words in Russian. And how many links did I make? 8,000 maybe, something like that. And so I did a 90-day challenge back when I started it. I didn't even win it either. And I was reading a lot. There are some users out there who are very, very dedicated. So that made me realize, hey, some of our users go all out. But anyway, it was very impressive. But I learned so much over that 3-month period. And having access to as many links as you can was a huge part of what helped me be able to learn and maintain my knowledge months later. So I didn't keep reading the same amount of Russian since this occurred in April, March of last year. But I had those links and I was able to then study them, since we have basically we store all those links that you don't know, and we provide the sentences and so on. And so you can always use the 20 link limit and try to get around it as much as you can. But in the long run, I do feel it is much more useful to have that unlimited number of links. That's what's going to make you go from being barely able to read in your language to being a fairly strong reader. And it made a huge difference for me.
Awesome. And what's awesome about links compared to, let's say studying a set of flashcards, is that these vocab words, these new words in the language, you learn them within the context of a meaningful story or article or video, whatever you're saying, whatever the format of the lesson is. But you're learning it within context, which helps it really stick a lot better than just rote memorization with flashcards. And even within the flashcard feature, the review feature in Link, you can see the sentence that it was in when you originally created the link. So seeing that word within the meaningful context, again, it helps connect that word to other words that which will help it stick a lot more. It's not this floating word in ether. It is rooted in meaning, which is super helpful for actually learning, and months ahead it's sticking with you, even if you're not keeping with it. So
yeah.
All right, we got a couple questions. When will the recording be available? So it's being recorded live on YouTube and Facebook, and it will be on the Facebook timeline and on the YouTube channel shortly after here. Sometimes it takes a few minutes for those channels to process it, but it will be up there. So, and then we got another question from Ruth on Zoom. Sometimes there are articles in French, my learning language, that include a lot of English words and or names. Is there any way to have Link ignore non-French words? So great question. Link will create those. Link will mark those English words in blue, and then you will have to go through them and just click ignore. So just click on the blue word, the English word, and then click ignore, and then it won't be added as links or known words. So that inevitably happens in every language, because we live in a global world, and more we use every language uses words from other languages. So yeah, just click the blue word and then click ignore, and that should solve that.
And in general, avoid content with 400 English words, right?
Yeah.
As much as possible, stick to content that is almost entirely in that language that you want to learn. Okay, and one question about the Firefox extension, which I think you linked to. Yeah.
Yep, I just linked again. So
okay,
there's the Firefox extension. But yeah, awesome. So Euglish, just to reiterate, you select your language and then you put in a word, and Euglish will show videos that use that word. And when you click on the video, it'll start the video at the very point at which that word is being used. And then Zero to Hero is another great resource to find YouTube videos with captions in your target language. And another idea. So Toby last week discussed this. So he has set up different YouTube channels as well as different Netflix user accounts for his different languages. And what that allows you to do is basically leverage the algorithms of these of YouTube or Netflix or whatever you're using, to leverage the algorithms. So then you start getting recommendations for videos in your target language. So last week I set up I created a new YouTube account just for Spanish videos. And then all the recommendations I'm getting are videos in Spanish on topics that I've shown the algorithm that I'm interested in. So that is another way to kind of automate the curation of YouTube content.
And if you find others, post on the forum.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Also, if you go on the forum and just search the language, not every language, but a lot of the languages have already existing threads where people asked, hey, what are some good YouTube channels for learning Greek? What are some good YouTube channels for learning Russian? So if you just go on the forum, search Russian, go on the forum, search Greek, you can see those. So again, that might not exist for every language. It might not exist for the language that you're currently learning, but you can always start a new thread. And we have over 1 million people that have signed up for LingQ over the years. So we have a huge community of language learners, and the chances are really, really good that if you're experiencing a problem or you want some advice, there is somebody in our community that can help you.
Yeah. I can give a 2-minute sneak peek at the beta.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
In case anyone here is interested who is not part of it. So I'm going to go ahead and share my window again. This is our Persian library. It's just an example, of course, but we had one of our team members put in a lot of work to make it a lot prettier than it used to be. So if this is your first time looking at LingQ version 5, you can see it's essentially the same kind of functionality as we had before. The layout is a little bit different. We have still our lessons, tutors, community, and admin here. We have the import button, which is on the right if you want to manually import something. We still have our difficulty levels, so beginner 1 to advanced 2 that you can filter by. And we now have essentially what the main difference is, we have almost like a bookshelf. We have a series of shelves starting with continue studying, and then we have trending. These are the lessons that we have had a lot of users complete recently. We have a what's new shelf. These are essentially the newest imports that have been imported and shared. So if you go on your YouTube tonight and you import something and then share it in the beta, you would find that show up right away in the what's new tab. We have a news feed, just like we have in the current version of LingQ. We have our mini stories, formal and spoken. We have, obviously it's a work in progress. We don't have a full shelf of books yet in Persian. We have podcasts, news, entertainment, culture, travel, all the way down like this. So depending on what you want to learn with, what you decide is going to be your language learning journey, you can go to that appropriate category and then click on that and import it right away into LingQ and then start learning with it. So we're going to have a mixture of those external lessons like you see here and the internal lessons that you see here, where it already gives you the number of new words, the number of links that I have. We're going to have this rolled out at one point for every single language. And we're even going to have custom playlists that we share as extra shelves, like Eric did in Japanese with a manga shelf. I'm planning to share soon a German television shelf. We're going to share different shelves, even if you're interested in COVID or this topic or that topic. These shelves might be there for a month or two. They'll come and they'll go. We're not going to overload you by sharing 50 extra shelves, but essentially the library that you now use is going to be sort of evolving on a week-to-week basis. So it's never going to look exactly the same. And every time you log on, you should see new things for you to learn with. That is sort of the big idea behind Link. And this is what we're turning up to 11, to put it one way, with Link version 5, which is currently in beta.
Yeah, and guys, if I see some people asking, if you're interested in seeing the beta, trying out for yourself, reach out to support@link.com.
Yeah, we need more beta testers. Help us out.
And also, I know for some reason the Firefox and Safari links that I shared were not working when I clicked them, and I know some people on YouTube were asking about that. I'm not sure why when I paste it into YouTube the link's not working, but if you just go to Google, search for link importer, and then whatever browser you're using, the link on Google works. So
yeah,
just search for it on Google and you can find it.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks guys. Thank you, North. That was very helpful. A lot of different good resources to find content, and the beta app is looking very sexy. I'm excited about that. And are there any remaining questions, guys? We got a few more minutes here, so if there's any questions, we will take them and answer them.
It's your last chance. I mean, really, it's not the most complicated thing to do, right? If it were so complicated that I would still be sharing my screen and walking through step 17 out of 20, wouldn't be very useful to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Take 2 seconds, get the extension, and then next time you're on YouTube, just click and import.
Yeah. Okay, so we do have a question on Zoom. You said you did not recommend the auto-generated captions. Yes, if it's better to find manually generated captions, videos with manually generated captions, but you know, just today I created a lesson with auto-generated captions, and there was a few words that I had to change. So I went in and edited the text of the lesson that was auto-generated, and I just changed up some words because I know some of the words that were auto-generated. It was a very long compound word. The word was neuroeducación, so neuroeducation in Spanish, and for whatever reason, the auto generator created a mishmash of a bunch of different words that was not the actual word. So I just went in and edited the lesson and typed in the actual word. And also a lot of times the auto generated captions do not use punctuation. So they're not going to have periods to mark the end of a sentence. So that can be kind of difficult to know, you know, where one sentence ends, one sentence begins. So you're not really sure what exactly is being expressed. So if you can, use videos with manually generated captions, but you know, if you find a video that you really like and it has auto generated captions, it's not the end of the world. It's just not ideal. So, but again, I mean, do the things that you like. If there's a video you really like and you want to learn from it, learn from that. Even if it's you know, not the easiest, not the most perfect format, you're probably better off studying something you really enjoy than stressing too much about finding something with perfect formatting. And then we got a follow-up question. How can you tell if it's manual or auto-generated? So within the YouTube video, when you click on the captions, if it's auto-generated, it'll say auto-generated. So it'll say Spanish auto-generated or Russian auto-generated. If it is not auto-generated, if it is manual, it will just say Spanish or it'll just say Russian. Okay, so Ruth asks, there's no Firefox importer. Yes, there is. There is a
It is,
Firefox.
however, possible if you are trying right now, because we just updated our extensions this week. It may be possible that we're between updates for the Firefox extension. I can try it briefly after this webinar, and if there is an issue with that, I would report it and we'd try to fix it as soon as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, as with all softwares, you know, these things happen. There are updates and we're always working on improving it. So sometimes things don't work, but that doesn't stay not working for long. So if that does happen, reach out to support. Probably other people are experiencing the same issue. So reach out to support and, you know, you'll get a quick answer on what the problem is and whether or not, chances are we are working on it and it will be solved soon.
Yep.
So yeah, again, we have the Firefox, Safari, Chrome, Microsoft Edge extensions. And you could also import the same content on your mobile phone. So I know somebody previously asked, can you import YouTube videos just on your phone? And the answer is yes. So we can't really share a screen from a mobile phone right now, but when you're watching a YouTube video, if you click share, it'll show a bunch of different apps that you can share it to. And then if you click on link, or you might have to click more and then find the link icon, and then it'll give you a prompt to say import using link. And then it's the same process. You create a lesson.
And when do we expect LingQ version 5 to be released? We're getting closer every day. We're not going to give you a firm release date right now because we want it to be ready when it's ready. But what's going to happen is we're going to gradually open up the betas more and more to the point where we're going to have a lot of our user base already on the betas, already using version 5. And that's going to happen before we officially release it and sort of do away with version 4.
Awesome. Well, thank you, North, and thank you everybody that joined on Zoom, Facebook, YouTube. We are reaching the end of the hour. So if you have remaining questions, if we didn't get to your question, I hope we got to all the questions, but if we did not, feel free to reach out, leave a comment afterward on YouTube, Facebook, reach out to support at link.com. You can reach out to me, Thomas, at link.com, or go into the forum, open up a thread, ask questions, and you know, the LingQ team, as well as our whole community of language learners, can help you. So thank you guys. Thank you, North.
Thank you, Tommy.
And have a good evening or morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world.
Have a nice rest of the day.
Yes. Well put. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.